Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty features remedies for inner healing and outer beauty. Real-time conversations with sisters in the Hebrew Israelite community, focused on healing our spirit, mind, and body, which will contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. Sip a cup of tea, wear your favorite turban, tee, or tunic, and enjoy Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty.
Shalawam, shalawam, sisters. Shalawam, sisters. Come on in. Come on in with your beautiful royal selves. Come on in. Come on in. Let us have a conversation. Let us have a conversation tonight. Who is here? As you come in, please do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. Share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Sister Habkarad is here. Of course you are, sis. Of course you are. All praises to the Most High. So good to see you. So good to see you. Have you already hit that like button? Hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Come on in. We have a conversation that we are about to jump into tonight, a serious conversation, right? As you can tell from the title of tonight's show, it is a serious conversation that needs to be had. So let's come on in. Let's get this royal tea party started. All right. Sister Althea is here. Shalom, sis. Shalom. Good to see you. Peace and blessings to you. Yes, you're sharing now. The water. Thank you, Sister Habkarad. Thank you so much. So before we go any further, let's just give a huge shout out to the Almighty. AHAYAH, ASHAR, AHAYAH. I am that I am, the God of the Hebrews and the Shebrews, in the name of his Son, YASHAYA HaMashiach, whom the world calls Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, Rawach Qadash. Yes, let us give them a huge shout out, a praise for bringing us back another Sunday, another week. It's always such a blessing. I mean, every day that we wake up is a blessing, right? But for us to make it through another week, especially with all the madness that's going on, it is definitely a huge blessing. So yes, it's good to see you all. Good to see you all. I'm your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, and I humbly thank you for joining me on this broadcast tonight. Sister Althea says, hi, hello. So good to see you. Good to see you. So welcome back. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How was everyone's week? How was the last week? And who is looking forward to this brand new week? Sister Lillian is here. Good to see you, sis. Sister Adana. Shalawam says, good to see you. Peace and blessings. How was your week? And tell me, do you all have anything big going on this week? What is going on this week? Are you all excited for the new week? Talk to me. I am pretty busy. I have been pretty busy, of course, trying to get things together for there's so much coming up. There's so much coming up in the next few months, most high willing. There's a lot going to be happening. So I'm preparing for all of that, which we will talk about later on in the show. But I've just been pretty busy getting the work done, doing the work. That's what I've been doing. I have been doing the work. How about you all? So let's jump into these disclaimers so we can get this show on the road, right? Let's get these disclaimers out of the way. So let's start off by saying what tea time with Shebrew royalty is not. It is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And we get it. We understand. We don't expect it to be. But if you happen upon this channel and you realize that we're just not your cup of tea, that's okay too. I encourage you to continue to search YouTube, because if you do, I am sure that you will find your perfect cup of tea and your perfect flavor. And you really do owe that to yourself, right? What I do ask is that you not leave any derogatory statements, any comments, negative comments in the comment box, because that would be distasteful, right? So we would really appreciate that, and we thank you in advance. Also, although I am a licensed physician assistant and certified functional nutrition informed professional, and I will be touching on topics of health and wellness on my broadcasts, we will not be utilizing this platform to diagnose or treat anyone's illnesses. If you are experiencing any medical problems, please consult your healthcare practitioner. And the views that you will hear on this channel are the views of myself or my guest, and not those of any particular church or organization. Some videos and materials may feature foods, herbal teas, nutritional supplements, and skin or hair care products offered through Shebrew Royalty LLC. These products are not evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Results may vary, and individuals with allergies, underlying health conditions, or who are pregnant or nursing should consult a qualified health professional before using any product or adopting any wellness recommendation shared on this platform or the Shebrew Royalty LLC website. By watching this channel, you acknowledge and agree that you do so at your own risk. The creators, guests, and affiliates of this channel are not liable for any injury, loss, or damage allegedly arising from any information, suggestions, or practices shared here. So now that that's out of the way, every week we feature a product from our Shebrew Royalty Temple Treasures or Hebrew Royalty product lines. We have so many incredible products, and we just love for you to get to know them better. So we feature one every Sunday here. So tonight's featured product is another treasure from Shebrew Royalty's Temple Treasures and just the Temple Treasures collections. We will talk about the tea later on. So let's talk about Temple Treasures if you're not already familiar with the product lines. Let's talk about that, and then we will jump right into our featured product for the night. So let's talk about Temple Treasures. So your skin is your temple, sisters. We want you to honor it and treasure it with the luxury that it deserves. So Temple Treasures is a handcrafted, all-natural skincare line inspired by ancient tradition, beauty practices, and designed for the modern queen. Infused with powerful botanicals, rare essential oils, and nutrient-rich ingredients, our products nourish, restore, and elevate your glow. From the radiant facial scrubs to indulgent bath soaks, each formula is a sacred self-care experience because true beauty isn't just skin deep. It's a reflection of the divine within. So experience Temple Treasures where skincare meets ancient tradition. So begin your skincare journey to outer radiance and beauty now. And let's start with our featured product for the night. Let's talk about this. Our featured product of the night is another majestic Temple Treasures treasure, and it is the Melanin Majesty Facial Scrub. So I am going to take you on a little tour here on the website and introduce you to our facial scrub. If you haven't already tried it, this is definitely something that you are going to want to try, especially at this time of year, right? Especially at this time of year. What is this saying here? Remind me later. Let's go down here to the facial scrub, the Melanin Majesty Facial Scrub. So we are right now on the Temple Treasures page. Let's keep scrolling until we get, here we go, face and body scrubs. And it is the first one on the list right here, the Melanin Majesty Facial Scrub. So Melanin Majesty Facial Scrub is a luxurious exfoliating and brightening facial scrub designed for melanin-rich skin, infused with ancient wisdom and sacred ingredients. So let's talk about what's in this scrub and what is it used for. The key benefits: brightens and evens the skin tone, gentle exfoliation, and it also detoxifies and purifies the skin. So the ingredients are raw manuka honey, and all of these ingredients are organic. Turmeric powder, organic brown sugar, moringa powder, black seed oil, baobab oil, and the essential oils are frankincense, myrrh, ylang ylang, vanilla absolute, and patchouli. And how do you use this scrub? First, you're going to wet your face. I usually just wash my face first with my cleanser. Apply a small amount of the Melanin Majesty Facial Scrub in circular motions, and focusing especially on areas where there may be some dark spots or dryness. And you just massage gently for 1 to 2 minutes, and then just leave it on for an additional 3 to 5 minutes for deeper hydration. And then you rinse off with lukewarm water and then pat dry. You don't want to rub your face. You just want to pat it dry. And then you'll follow with a toner or moisturizer. And I recommend, depending on your type of skin, I would recommend once a week or every other week. Unless you have really oily skin, then you may want to do it a little bit more often, maybe twice a week. And if you do have acne-prone skin, we have a different formula for sensitive and acne-prone skin. So if that is you, maybe next week we'll feature the other facial scrub that is for sensitive and acne-prone skin. So let's talk about what these ingredients do. Let's get off this page for a minute here and let me just talk to you. No, before I do that, let's just run over to the store. Let's just go to the store and let's go to our store. Did I pass it? Here we go. Head over to the store. We're on Temple Treasures. Let's go to the Melanin Majesty Facial Scrub. Let's keep going. Here we go. Melanin Majesty Facial Scrub is right here. There it is. And it has all the information here on the store. And this is a 4-ounce bottle or container, which lasts forever. And you will really want to refrigerate this just to preserve it. If you refrigerate it, this can last up to 6 months. Up to 6 months. And here we go. This is what it looks like. And oh my gosh, it just leaves your skin just glowing. That's what that looks like. So here we are. This is the Melanin Majesty Facial Scrub, sisters. So let's talk about what the benefits are of each of these ingredients. So the raw manuka honey is antibacterial. It's also deeply moisturizing, and it promotes an even skin tone. The turmeric powder brightens the skin, reduces inflammation, and fights hyperpigmentation. The organic brown sugar is a gentle exfoliator that removes dead skin cells, and it also boosts circulation. The moringa powder is packed with vitamins A, C, and E to nourish and protect melanin-rich skin. Black seed oil is rich in antioxidants and essential fatty acids, helping to heal and restore the skin. Baobab oil is ultra hydrating and packed with vitamin C for a natural glow. And the frankincense and myrrh essential oils are ancient oils for skin rejuvenation and a royal sacred touch. Doesn't that sound good, sisters? Doesn't that sound good? Don't you want your face to just be smooth and glowing? And Sister Ahab Karad, you have tried this Melanin Majesty facial scrub. What do you think about it? What do you think about this facial scrub, sis? Let's get some feedback from someone who has actually tried this facial scrub. Talk to me. What do you think about it? So I know there's a lag between me talking and you hearing, so I'm going to keep going, but whenever you get an opportunity, just drop a comment in that comment box about what your experience has been with the Melanin Majesty facial scrub. So sisters, let's talk about tea. Let's talk tea. Let us talk tea. What is your cup of tea tonight, sisters? What is your cup of tea? There she goes. Sister Habkarad says, I love it. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. And sis, I am telling you, I see your skin really is so much brighter. I mean, it really has done wonders. It really has done wonders. So, and I love it myself. I really do. I really love it. And when I use it, my skin just feels so baby soft, and it really does have a glow. And I think that turmeric powder it really does brighten your skin when you use it. So I'm glad to hear. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that you love it. She says, it leaves my skin so soft, and I've been told You can see a difference in my skin. Yes, absolutely, sis. Absolutely. It looks so much more youthful. Yes. And that's how I find when I use it, it just gives my skin, so it makes it just even more, I should say, plump. I don't know if that's the right term, but it just hydrated. I think that's a better term for it. It's just more hydrated and it just feels so soft. You said, Consis, I see it too. Finally, I got confirmation. Amen. Amen. All praises to the Most High. That's what happens when we use natural products, right? When we use products that have no synthetic crap in there, no chemicals. When we actually use products that comes from the earth. So yes, I agree, sis. So yeah, we're gonna talk tea. We're gonna talk tea. Talk to me. Tell me, what is your cup of tea tonight? What are you sipping on? Because I am telling you, I can't wait to tell you about my new tea. My new tea. Yes. So my cup of tea is perfectly suitable for this time of year. So many people are coming down with flu symptoms. That's all I've been hearing. So many people are getting sick, having colds and flus, these viruses. And it is really time to boost your immune system, sisters. It really is time to boost that immune system, because nobody's got time for the flu. We really don't have time for the flu. We have too much to do to deal with the flu. So let's see, y'all are talking to me over here. So let me see. Let me hear what you all is saying. Let's hear what you all is saying. Sister Aqua Sierra says, Shalawam, my beautiful, regal, royal sister. I love you. You look gorgeous as usual. The water, sis. All praises to the Most High, my regal, royal, beautiful sister as well. The water. So good to see you, sis. So good to see you. Sister Adana says, Sister Kuala, some of us are so busy. Is there any way you can send reminders via text as you used to? I was reminded by Sister Hub, I was vacuuming, and if I hadn't got the reminder from her, I would have. Oh, I would have forgotten. I am so sorry, sis. I get so busy as well. So I thought that most people had now the reminder on there so that YouTube can remind you. That's why I keep saying, hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever we go live, because I really, on Sundays, I get so busy because a lot of times I am still putting everything together on Sunday for the show. I will try to do better. I will try to do better, but meet me halfway. Be sure, please, to hit that notification bell so you can be notified. Yes, so meet me halfway. Let's do this together. Okay? So what? But I am so glad that she reached out to you, that Sister Hub reached out to you. I am so glad to hear that. But I will try to do better on my end as well. But it's a lot of people that I end up, sending out notifications to. So it gets a little hectic on my end also. So help me out. Help me out here. Let's see. Aqua Sierra says, good to see you. Good to see you too, sis. So good to see you. Sipping on my ginger and honey tea. That sounds really yummy. Yes, and full of antioxidants. All praises, all praises. Aqua Adana says, the thing is I check text often, but the notifications don't come through. Okay, sis, I will do that. I will do that. I will get back on notifying, because I noticed that since I stopped sending out the notifications, that a lot of people have been missing. So I will do my very best to send out the notifications on Sunday. But like I said, I get so busy on Sunday preparing for everything that it gets a bit much. But I will try. How about that? I will definitely try. So speaking of tea, my cup of tea, and I'm sitting here, and the aroma is just it's so amazing. It's so amazing because, like I said, this time of year, we need to really boost our immune system. So my go-to every winter is elderberry. I love, love, love elderberry and that aroma that comes from the elderberry. So this is my Shebrew royalty, Queen's Defense elderberry tea and tonic. And it really is a mouthful. Just saying that is a mouthful, but I am telling you, wow, this tea/tonic, and I will explain why I have given it both the title of tea and tonic. Elderberry is awesome. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's time for the elderberry syrup. It's time for the elderberry tonics and elderberry teas. So let's talk about this Queen's Defense elderberry tea and tonic. Let's talk about it. Let me introduce you to it. So the Queen's Defense elderberry tea and tonic is a powerful antioxidant-rich herbal blend created to support immune resilience, cardiovascular health, and cellular protection. It's crafted with reverence for ancestral herbal wisdom and guided by functional nutrition principles. So, you know, with functional nutrition, we're talking about nutrition that really helps your body to function rather than dysfunction, right? So this formula is designed to be enjoyed as both a daily tea and a concentrated tonic. At its foundation, it's elderberry is the main foundation, and elderberry is prized for its immune supportive and antioxidant properties. Then there's also hibiscus and rose hips that nourishes the heart and circulation while delivering vibrant plant compounds that support skin and cellular vitality. Then there's also warming ginger, cinnamon, and cloves that activate digestion and circulation, while the orange peel brightens the blend and supports gentle detox pathways. So whether sipped as a comforting tea or simmered into a potent tonic, Queen's Defense is really a powerhouse of protection, strength, and restoration. So I'm going to bring that up on the Shebrew Royalty website so you can see what we are talking about. Let us go back to our website. Take a little jog over here to the royalties. And here it is, right at the top of the list. Here are all of the ingredients, the purpose. Like I said, it's a powerful antioxidant-rich herbal blend. right? And it is so good to support immune resilience, cardiovascular health, and cellular protection. And it's designed to either be enjoyed as a tea, a daily tea, or a tonic, which is very concentrated. So the benefits is for immune and heart and cellular protection. And here are the ingredients: the organic elderberries, hibiscus flowers, rose hips, dried ginger root, cinnamon chips, whole cloves, and dried orange peel. And I am telling you, this tea is, oh my goodness. I made the tea today, and tomorrow I am definitely going to make the tonic. So let's go over here to the store so you can see where we are at in the store. And we run over here to Royal Teas, where all of our teas are at, right here. And I just want to show you what this blend looks like. This is what that blend looks like. And all of this yummy goodness, we're talking about the elderberries, the cinnamon chips, the rose hips, the ginger, the orange peels. I mean, and the aroma, oh my goodness, the house just smells so incredible. It smells so incredible when it's simmering. It just lights up the whole house. Everything is wow. Everything is wow. That's what I'm gonna say. So let's talk about this Queen Defense elderberry tea and tonic, and all of the information is right here. I'm going to pull up this website closer to me, just because sometimes these lights just wreak havoc on my vision. Give me just a second. I'm headed over there with you. So we can talk tea. Yeah, I really want to give you some really good information about this tea, because I think that this is going to help so many of us just this winter season. Especially they're talking about this super flu that is going around, and we don't want any of that. So let us, like I said, start boosting our immune system. And this is one of the best ways to do that, is with natural stuff. And we want to be proactive rather than reactive. So many times we wait until we get the flu or we get a cold, and then we start taking cough syrups and all of these other things, rather than getting in front of it, boosting your immune system so that your immune system can fight off whatever is out there, right? So let us start boosting the immune system, so this year we're not dealing with the flu or any of those sicknesses, right? So it says here, the Queen's Defense Elderberry Tea and Tonic is a powerful antioxidant-rich herbal blend created to support immune resilience, cardiovascular health, and cellular protection. Crafted with reverence, with ancestral herbal wisdom, and guided by functional nutrition principles, this formula is designed to be enjoyed as both a daily tea or a concentrated tonic. And we've already gone through all of that. So let's talk about why. Why would we want the Queen's Defense? Well, first of all, it supports the immune defense and seasonal wellness, especially during this time of year. It's really going to help with preventing sickness, right? That's what it's supposed to do. That it's full of antioxidants, and that's what antioxidants do. Like it says here, rich in natural antioxidant, promotes heart health and circulation. It's warming, grounding, and restorative, and designed for tea or tonic preparations. And the flavor profile, it's bright, tart, berry notes, layered with warming spices and a subtle citrus finish. So how do you enjoy it? As a daily herbal tea for gentle support, or concentrated tonic for immune-focused regimen. It's ideal for seasonal resets and sacred self-care. And we've gone over the ingredients already. You know what the ingredients are. Let's just go over them real quickly again. The elderberry, the hibiscus flowers, rose hips, ginger root, cinnamon bark, cloves, and orange peel. It is caffeine-free and vegan. No fillers, no additives or preservatives. And it's made in small batches of whole herb blend. So these are the whole herbs. These aren't, sometimes you buy tea in the tea bags, and when you open the tea bag, it looks like dust. As you can see from the picture I just showed you, you're getting the whole herb. You're getting the whole berry, right? You're not getting dust from the berries. So directions for the tea. For the tea, you're going to add 1 to 1.5 tablespoons to 2 cups of filtered water. Simmer gently for 20 to 30 minutes. You strain and enjoy warm. For the tonic, it's going to be a different direction. You add 1/2 cup of the blend into 1 quart or 32 ounces of filtered water. Bring to a gentle boil, then reduce the heat and simmer uncovered for 45 to 60 minutes. And the liquid will reduce naturally by half. And then you just strain and cool it, let it cool, and then you add maybe some honey, just like I did. I added some honey. This is the tea. This is not the tonic. So suggested serving size for the tonic. And by the way, with the tonic, you can refrigerate it for up to 7 to 10 days. The suggested serving size for the tonic is 1 to 2 tablespoons daily. And there's all the information on there, the instructions on how much, how often. For children, we don't recommend for children under the age of 1, but over the age of 1, you can go to 1/2 to 1 teaspoon diluted. And we recommend consulting a pediatrician, a healthcare provider before starting children on this blend. And especially children under the age of 1, you do not give them honey. That is a huge no-no. All right. And then it also says here, as far as the safety concerns, that elderberries must be fully simmered before use, not intended for children under 1 year old, and consult a healthcare professional if pregnant, nursing, or under medical care. So that is it for our Queen's Defense elderberry tea and tonic. And this is what I am going to be loading up on this winter season to keep my immune system healthy, keep it active and strong. So Mary is here. Hello, Mary. Hello, so good to see you. So good to see you. I am telling you, you all pardon me because I am going to be sipping this this tea throughout the night. I am going to be sipping this tea throughout the night because it is so good. It is so absolutely delicious. So let's keep it moving. We've gone over all of that. All right, sisters, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you haven't already done so, please, please, please hit that like button right now if you haven't already done so. And also, don't forget, if you are on Instagram, please remember to follow us on Instagram at Shebrew Royalty LLC. Don't forget the LLC. Shebrew Royalty LLC on Instagram. So last Sunday, who was here for last Sunday's show? Every last Sunday of the month here on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty, we honor a medical superhero, a Black pioneer whose brilliance, courage, and innovation helped to shape the fields of medicine and holistic wellness as we know them today. This series is designed to restore what history attempted to erase: the truth that African Americans have been architects of healing, not just recipients of care. By remembering their contributions, we reclaim legacy, we reclaim dignity, and we pass forward the wisdom of those who paved the way for our wellness today. So last Sunday, we featured superhero number 3 in our series. And I don't know if you were here, but if you weren't, last week's show, we learned about the life and legacy of Prentice Lee Harrison, and he was the first Black physician assistant in the United States. And as I stated last week, that episode was very near and dear to my heart based on my own experience as a PA. Still licensed, though I retired from active patient care a couple of years ago. We also learned about the history on the birth of the physician assistant profession. We honored Mr. Harrison because he did more than practice medicine. He proved that Black clinicians belong at the forefront of modern healthcare. If you saw this episode, what did you think about it? And if you haven't yet watched it, I encourage you to do so, especially for those of you that CPAs or nurse practitioners when you go to your medical appointments. It would be good to know a little bit of history about how we came to be. So our next and our 4th episode in that series, the Black Medical Superheroes series, will be on the last Sunday of this month, which will be January 25th. And mark your calendars because you don't want to miss it, right? All right, shalom again, my BrewTeaFul sisters. It's showtime. So without further ado, pour your tea, settle in, and take a journey with me. For those that are joining us for the first time or for the 100th time, welcome back to Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty, where ancient wisdom, sacred self-care, and modern wellness meets. I'm your hostess, YASHAYA, functional nutrition informed professional, retired physician assistant, and your wellness sister on this journey of inner healing and outer vitality. So speaking of series, 2 weeks ago, we embarked on a journey, and we talked about it being a 12-week journey. This 12-week journey comes also in the form of a series, and this series is entitled Informed Self-Advocacy: How Women Take Control of Their Health. So Informed Self-Advocacy: How Women Take Control of Their Health is a wellness education series designed to equip women, especially those 40 plus, with the tools to confidently navigate today's healthcare system. Guided by decades of clinical experience and a holistic approach to healing, this series teaches women how to ask the right questions, understand their bodies, and actively participate in their care. So each episode offers practical tools, real life guidance, and empowering insights to help women move from confusion and dismissal to clarity, confidence, and control. Because informed women make logical, not emotional health decisions. So, welcome to episode 2 of the series, which is called Medical Gaslighting, Recognizing It and Responding with Confidence. So, let's jump right into tonight's episode, Medical Gaslighting, Recognizing It and Responding with Confidence. So, how many of you have ever heard of medical gaslighting? How many of you even know what gaslighting means? If you're anything like me, I was hearing that term for such, my patients would come in and they would talk to me about their experience with gaslighting, and I needed to find out, what is that all about? What does that mean? Right? So I had to quickly get up to speed on the terminology. And they weren't necessarily at the time talking about medical gaslighting. They were talking more about in their personal lives. But tonight's conversation is important, and for many women, deeply personal. We are talking about medical gaslighting, what it is, how to recognize it, and most importantly, how to respond with confidence, clarity, and self-trust. So if you've ever been told it's just stress, that's normal, your labs are fine, while your body was clearly saying otherwise, you'll want to stay with me because we're going to take a journey. We're going to find out more about what is, like I said, medical gaslighting. So let's first start with this article by the Cleveland Clinic. It's Medical Gaslighting, 10 Signs to Watch For. And I think I'm just going to make it easy by, what I'll do is, actually, even before doing that, let's talk about what is gaslighting. Let's go there. We're going to talk about, first of all, simplifying it, what is gaslighting, and once we do that, then we will jump into medical gaslighting. So let me copy this. I'm going to share this link in the comment box here. So this talks about what is gaslighting. So that's where we will actually start. We'll start there. So for those of you that can open, I hope that you're able to open that link and follow along with me. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. Let's see. Maybe let me know if you need me to put it up on the screen if you're not able to pull it up on your desktop or maybe on your phone. So in this article, it says, what is gaslighting? Here's what to do if you think it's happening. So in this article, I'm just going to go over the definition, first of all, of what is gaslighting. And then we'll go back to the medical gaslighting, since that is what we are specifically speaking on tonight. So it says here, this form of mental manipulation makes you doubt your decisions, mistrust your judgment, and question reality. So someone may be telling you, everyone thinks you're crazy. I'm sorry you feel that way. Don't take it so personally. Why are you so sensitive? I was just joking around. You don't really mean that. I think you need to calm down. And so, depending on the situation, if you're hearing this a lot, maybe this is what you're dealing with, is gaslighting, right? It says here the term gaslighting has become popular online and throughout pop culture, where it's often used and also overused to describe bad behaviors like lying, guilt tripping, or shaming. But true gaslighting is a specific form of emotional abuse and mental manipulation that disrupts your ability to trust others and yourself. Sister Habkarad says, I can't pull it up. Okay, Sister Adana says, I am able to open it and view. I think we have all experiences. Khan says, yes, we have. Yes, we have. It's a form of emotional abuse and mental manipulation that disrupts your ability to trust others and yourself. So, Sister Habkarad, you said you can't pull it up, but I'm just going to go ahead and read it. And I have my laptop, which is closer to me, so I'm able to see it rather than read it from, pull it up on the screen that you will be able to see it on. And because that screen is so far away from me that I can't really read from that distance. So it says here, psychologist Shavana Childs, PhD, explains what gaslighting is, how to recognize it, and what to do if it's happening to you. So what is gaslighting? Gaslighting is when someone uses specific patterns of behavior to get another person to question their sanity and their ability to make decisions. The longer gaslighting goes on, the more the victim's relationship with trust in themselves, in others, and in the world around them unravels. Gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation that makes you feel as if your feelings aren't valid, or that what you think is happening isn't really happening. Dr. Childs explains. Over time, you start to question your self-worth, self-esteem, and mental capacity. The word itself comes from the 1938 British play Gaslight and the 1944 film Gaslight. In both versions, an abusive husband lies and manipulates his wife, trying to convince her that she's crazy and can't make her own choices. His goal? To gain access to her family jewels. Today, gaslighting describes many ongoing unhealthy behaviors in the context of a relationship. It can occur in romantic relationships, as well as in the workplace, in your doctor's office, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, and among family, friends, and acquaintances. So here are some common gaslighting examples and behaviors. No standalone tactic or experience defines gaslighting. It's a pattern of behavior, multiple instances of manipulation that happen over and over again. There are many common techniques that gaslighters use. They may, 1, accuse you of being overly emotional or too sensitive. 2, blame you for things you didn't do or don't recall doing. 3, deflect or counter argument rather than trying to address problems. Deny faults for their actions. Disagree with your version of events. Guilt you into thinking you've done something wrong. Humiliate or belittle you to hurt your confidence. Isolate you from your support network so you feel dependent on them. Lie to you, whether subtly or outright. Question your judgment and decisions. Shame you for what you think, feel, or do. Shift the blame for things they do, often making you feel responsible instead. Trivialize or invalidate your feelings or concerns. withhold information from you, which cuts off conversation and make problem solving harder. On their own, each of these behaviors is unhealthy and problematic, but together and over time, they can affect your mental health and sense of self. This can cause you to question your sanity, doubt your ability to make decisions, and even wonder what's real and what's not. The person who's doing the gaslighting may or may not realize they're doing it, Dr. Childs notes. But either way, when you're on the receiving end, it can feel confusing and very damaging, and be very damaging. So it says here, gaslighting often signs you're being gaslit. Gaslighting often happens subtly or in fits and starts. So it's common not to realize that you're experiencing it or feel unsure about whether it's really happening. That's why gaslighting is so sinister and so good at making you question yourself. But if you start to notice a pattern of tactics like lying, blaming, and shaming, those may be clues that you are being gaslit. Here are some possible signs. They don't admit or take responsibility for their mistakes. They tell you that your memory of events is different or wrong. They make you feel responsible for how they act towards you. They rarely or never apologize for being wrong. They often tell you you're crazy, wrong, overreacting, too sensitive, etc. They use your past and or deepest insecurities against you. Gaslighting targets your mental health by undermining your ability to think for yourself, so your own actions and feelings can help you determine whether you're experiencing gaslighting too. You feel on edge or nervous when you're around them, or even just thinking about being around them. You constantly second guess your decisions and mistrust your judgment. You apologize to them even when you don't think you've done something wrong. You don't feel worthy of their time and attention. You leave confrontations and conversations with them feeling more confused than before. You lose interest in work, activities, and hobbies you used to enjoy because you feel like you're not as good as them as you used to be. As good at them, as you used to be. Other people have noticed changes in your mood or personality when you're around this person or when they come up in conversation. Questioning your perceptions and sanity can also create a compound of mental health issues like anxiety and depression, which can lock you into a cycle of abuse. Then it goes into why gaslighting happens. There are multiple ways that people become gaslighters, Dr. Childs says. They could have learned it from their upbringing, they could have been gaslit as children, or they could have narcissistic tendencies. Some people gaslight others just to inflict emotional pain or gain power and control over another person. But gaslighting isn't always something that a person sets out to do. Again, they may not even realize they're doing it. Sometimes people gaslight as a defense mechanism. They may launch into reactive behaviors like lying or blaming without thinking it through or without realizing how it might affect other people. Gaslighting can be a form of projection, particularly when the perpetrator is called out on their actions. This allows them to deflect and blame others. Dr. Childs explains, it's like a magic trick. They make you look to the left so you don't see what's going on to the right. So how do you deal with gaslighting? And we're talking about, right now, we're talking about gaslighting on a general level. And like I said, we're going to go more into the medical gaslighting in just a few minutes. So gaslighting disrupts your ability to trust others and yourself. So what can you do about it? Dr. Childs shares some tips for finding a way forward. Identify gaslighting behaviors. Tip number 1, When you're questioning your own judgment, it can be hard to tell what's real. Plus, social media often gets gaslighting wrong, slapping the label onto all sorts of bad behaviors. Resources like our gaslighting quiz can help you make sense of what your experience is. Tip number 2, document interactions. Keep track of what you experience by taking screenshots, saving text messages, writing down dates, and recapping conversations. Yes, it may sound tiring, but it may help you sort truth from fiction. Tip number 3, call it out when it happens. The longer gaslighting goes on, the more harmful it becomes. Naming unhealthy behaviors as they occur can stop them from progressing. Calling out gaslighting behaviors helps set boundaries and change the power dynamic, Dr. Childs explains. It puts the other person on notice that you will no longer accept this type of treatment. Tip number 4, create space for self-care. Prioritizing self-care is a great way to tend to your mental health and emotional well-being. In the aftermath of an interaction with a gaslighter, practices like breath work, grounding techniques, and positive affirmations can help you calm down and center yourself. Work with a therapist. Gaslighting can shake your worldview and tank your self-esteem. Talk therapy can help you heal, rebuild your confidence, and face the world and your relationships with a stronger sense of self. Suggest therapy for the gaslighter too. If you believe the person who's gaslighting you isn't doing it on purpose, you may want to suggest that they try therapy as well. A trained therapist can help them get to the root of their behavior, offering them a chance to learn, grow, and do better in the future. Try couples therapy. If you're experiencing gaslighting in your romantic relationship and believe it's unintentional, go to couples therapy. Going to couples therapy may help you communicate better and address core problems. Couples therapy can help you evolve and grow in your relationship, Dr. Childs says. But here's the thing about intentional gaslighting. It is impossible to reason with someone who's doing it to you on purpose. So sometimes the best way to cope is to know when it's time to leave. If you call out a gaslighter's actions and they don't stop or they escalate, the only healthy response might be to leave the relationship. A fire cannot burn if there's no fuel, Dr. Childs notes. They can't fight if there's no one to fight with. And then she gives information here. If you need help leaving an abusive relationship, help is available. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline and 1-800-799-7233 for free confidential help and resources. So that's the article on gaslighting. So let's now, does anyone have any comments, any questions about that? And we're going to jump right over to medical gaslighting. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about medical gaslighting. I want us to jump right into the other. I am going to share the other article with you, which is specific to medical gaslighting, the 10 signs to watch for. So now that we know what gaslighting is, what it may look like, how can we now identify when this is happening on the medical side with your medical provider? Let me or should I say from your medical provider, who may or may not know that this is what they're doing, right? But you need to be able to identify it, and if it is happening. And like we said, learn how to how to deal with it with confidence. So there's the link for the next article that we're going to go into. Now that we've talked about gaslighting, medical gaslighting, 10 signs to watch for. 10 signs to watch for. And once again, this is by the Cleveland Clinic as well. So this is coming from a reputable source. It's coming from an actual clinic, right? And this is their Health Essentials article. This was written on June 9th, 2025. It says medical gaslighting, 10 signs to watch for. Red flags include feeling unheard, unimportant, or unwelcome in your provider's office. And this is definitely not the place where you should be feeling like you are a victim of gaslighting. So it says here, you've probably heard of gaslighting, but what happens when it comes from your doctor? Understanding medical gaslighting may help improve your experience with the healthcare industry. So what is medical gaslighting? Medical gaslighting is when a healthcare provider's behavior make you feel unheard, unimportant, or unwelcome. You may even question if your symptoms are real. This can cause misdiagnoses, delay vital care, and break the trust between you and your provider. The result? You may be less likely to seek healthcare in the future. So what are some signs of medical gaslighting? Your provider may be gaslighting you if they, 1, diagnose you without a thorough examination. How many of you have had that happen? You walk in the door, or they just read the medical chart, your chief complaint, what you're in here for, and they automatically slap a diagnosis on you, write a prescription, and send you out the door, right? So number 2, dismiss or downplay the importance of your symptoms. Number 3, refuse to address certain topics or concerns. They just kind of blow it off. Number 4, make assumptions about you. How many of you have experienced that? Number 5, tell you your symptoms are all in your head. I've had, even myself, I've had my medical provider, my doctor, at one point, oh, it's all in your head. I've had that happen. So I know, and I'm a medical provider. And I had to remind them, no, I kind of think I know what is in my head and what's not, and especially since this is what I do for a living. Anyhow, so I can truly relate to some of these things, even coming from being because at some point, medical providers, we do seek care as well. We go see a doctor. A lot of times we have to go see a specialist for certain things, especially if that's not our area of expertise. I'm not a surgeon, so I may have to go to a surgeon for surgery if I need a surgery, right? And imagine you go there and your surgeon is telling you that this situation is all in your head. Sister, he came and spent in 5 minutes with me and told me, go get your blood drawn. Sister Ada, he said, he came in and spent 5 minutes with me and said, go get your blood drawn. So were you able to even tell him what you were there for? Khan, God, I find go get your blood drawn. Right. So yeah, so you all understand what I'm talking about here. I know I've had patients that have come to me and told me the same thing, that their previous provider sent them to see me because they thought, oh well, maybe I'm dealing with depression or anxiety or whatever the case may be. And this is when I was working in psychiatry. I saw so many patients who had legitimate medical issues, but were sent to psych because they thought, the provider thought, oh, this is all in their head, when they actually had legitimate medical issues going on. Your yearly checkup. Yeah, that's common, sis. That's common. So they ignore, here's another one, number 6, ignore requests for tests or referrals without explaining why they may not be a good fit. That's another huge complaint that I've heard patients speak on. Well, I asked, can I have this test done? And I was told no, without an explanation. Number 7, they shame or blame you for your condition. Number 8, they make rude or condescending comments about you. Number 9, they talk over or ignore you. And 10, they try to talk you out of getting a second opinion. And this one is huge. They try to talk you out of getting a second opinion. And that is your right. If you feel as though the diagnosis that you've been given, you don't feel as though it's correct, you have the right to ask for a second opinion. So why does medical gaslighting happen? Most healthcare providers want to give you the best care, but time constraints, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where you have 15 minutes to sit there and talk to your provider. Why? Because of overbooking. And then there's also burnout. Many providers are burnt out. There's also misunderstandings and more that can affect your experience. While medical gaslighting can happen to anyone, psychologist Shavonna Childs says it happens most often to women and people who already face barriers in the healthcare system. Who may they be? Providers may be influenced by hidden bias or lack the training to recognize culturally nuanced symptoms. It's often a side effect of the physician not being well versed in the background of their patient, Dr. Childs explains. Historical stereotypes may not be blatant anymore, but their undercurrents still exist, and implicit bias can impact the care you get. So a lot of times you're feeling in your gut, you have that gut feeling, right? You have that gut feeling that, I feel as though this may be a situation where it has to do with a bias. And you don't know how to address that. So we're going to talk about that. Now I have something that just popped up on my screen here that just won't go away. Here we go. Go away. Okay. Right. So here are factors that influence medical gaslighting. Tight provider schedules. The average appointment with a primary care provider in the US is just 18 minutes long. Last week we talked about it being between 15 to 20 minutes, not last week, the previous week, between 15 to 20 minutes long. Rushing means less back and forth between doctor and patient, which can result in mistakes and misunderstandings. So we did also talk about how to get around that, right? Is to show up with your list and have 3 top things that you want to talk about. And as soon as you get in that room, you let your provider know, hey, these are the things that are concerning me, boom, 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 boom. And you put it out there and you get everything out that you need to tell your doctor before they jump in. You have to get it out there. Because once the tables turn, like Sister Ada says, in 5 minutes, you're going to the lab. that 15-minute or 18 or 20-minute appointment just became a 5-minute appointment if you don't get in there and take control of your appointment. So the other factor is diagnostic training. Providers are trained to rule out common health conditions before considering more unusual ones. That can slow down the process of diagnosing rare or orphan diseases. And I can attest to that, because that is what happened with me with my neck issue. My doctor looked at my symptoms and he was treating my symptoms without really getting to the root of the symptoms. And that's where I had to advocate for myself, and I had to say, look, I'm not here to get a Band-Aid. I'm here to get to the root of the problem. And I actually had to go through the process of doing the deep dive into figuring out what was going on with me, because my condition was rare. And I had to get to the root of the problem myself. And then once I presented it to my doctor and say, hey, based on my research, this is what I'm dealing with. And I've done all of the research. And once again, whether it was pride or whether it was just, like you said, the gaslighting, my doctor says, oh, well, no, that's not what it is. I don't think that's what it is. You need to go to psych. And long story short, I ended up taking my care into my own hands and seeing another provider and got the treatment that I needed. And voila, here I am, right? Had I not done that and taken my healthcare into my own hands, I would be on all of these medications that this doctor was prescribing me for something that I didn't have. So I say all this to say, and so many times I do these shows, the title of these shows, the content of these shows are a lot of times, like I've mentioned before, based on my own experience and the experiences that I've seen with my patients when I was a provider. So I can truly relate to a lot of this stuff. And that's the reason why I expose a lot of these conditions, a lot of these topics. I bring them to the forefront because I know that they're problematic. And not many people are talking about these things. So the other factor is limited resources. In the US, your insurance often determines the tests and procedures you can get. That can hamper providers' efforts to investigate your symptoms. And even if that is the case, if your doctor truly believes that this test is necessary, There are ways for them to get around that and to get your insurance company to approve those tests. So do not allow that to be a factor. If your doctor really believes that they need a test done, by all means, they should advocate for you to make sure that test gets done so that you can get an accurate diagnosis. The other factor is misunderstanding emotions. Sometimes caregivers might read anxiety, tears, or frustration as a sign of a mental health issue when it's really just a natural reaction to a tough situation. Then there's physician burnout. It says here, the American Medical Association says lacking empathy and thinking poorly of patients is a hallmark of provider burnout. Rates peaked at 62.8% in 2021 at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The rate's now below 50%, but not by much. Other factor, evolving understanding. Even the best doctors aren't experts on everything, which is true. And many conditions like long COVID or fibromyalgia aren't well understood. And yes, fibromyalgia for a very, very long time. I remember years ago having a friend she was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, but back then they really didn't know how to treat this problem, but she was told that her fibromyalgia was all in her head. And it was so frustrating for her because this was a person that was very, very, very active. And now she was to the point where she couldn't work. She was basically, homebound. Her pain was just excruciating. And it was really, really tough situation for her, but she was told over and over again, it was in her head. There wasn't a whole lot that was being done for her. And it was a really sad situation, but that was so many years ago when fibromyalgia was just really being talked about. And so to hear that even now, years later, it still isn't well understood is distressing. And then there's also personality mismatches. Not every provider's style clicks with every patient. Some physicians tell jokes that you don't find funny. Others may be dry in a way you find unwelcoming. Dr. Childs observes, it's important to find a provider that matches your communication style. And once again, I mentioned that patient, and I'm going to mention him again, the one that walked into the room and said, I don't want to see you. I want someone that looks like me. And that was important for him. And that was really important for him to express that and to feel comfortable in knowing that he will be heard. Because had I just blown him off, that would have been definitely an example of gaslighting, because he made it quite clear that he did not want a provider that looked like me. He wanted a provider that looked like him. And I said, okay. And we accommodated him. We, found him another provider rather than me saying, well, too bad. I'm all you're going to get. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what type of relationship that would be? It's like him being my patient and I'm having to treat someone that really doesn't want to see me. That wouldn't work out really well. So in the past, it was normal for physicians to overrule their patients' wishes and even withhold medical information. Today, patients have a right to be informed and make their own medical decisions. But some caregivers still believe they know best. So what do you do about it? Gaslighting is never your fault, but knowing your rights and options can help you protect yourself. You have the power to. You have the power to. Here are some ways to improve the odds of your visit going well and address gaslighting if it happens. So before the appointment, doing a little homework and jotting down questions before your appointment can help you feel more prepared. And don't just research symptoms and treatments. Research your provider too. That's important. Research your provider. Patient reviews and provider bios can help you know what to expect. How many of us, if we're getting ready to, if we're looking for a home or if we're looking for a car, to purchase a car, and not even to buy a home, sometimes to just rent a home, how many of us do the research? We do the research before we rent. We look at what's in the neighborhood, what's the crime rate like, is this a good neighborhood? Is there a good school there for the children? We do our research. We do our research before we buy a car. Is this car, is it good on gas? Does it have a reputation for this model? Does it break down easily? You do your research. So why not do your research on your provider? Read their reviews, right? In addition to informing yourself, do what you can to better inform your provider. Symptom journals, medication list, old medical records, collect them all and share them with your care team. And we talked about this, like I said, a couple of weeks ago. These are some of the tips that we went over when we were talking about how to make the most of your 15 or 20-minute appointment. Dr. Childs says one of the best ways to prepare for a visit with your provider is to invite a buddy. We also talked about that, having someone there for support. We only hear a fraction of what our providers say to us, she continues. If we're nervous, upset, it's bad news, or you need surgery, it helps to have somebody else there to hear what the doctor's saying and pick up any pieces you may have missed. And even if they're there to take notes, because sometimes if you're talking to your doctor, you're talking, or your doctor is talking and you're listening, it's hard to jot down, everything. So if you have someone there in a support capacity, they can take notes as you are talking back and forth with your doctor. There's one more thing you should consider doing before you enter your provider's office. Read up on your rights. Many countries have laws to protect patients. Others have a formal Patient's Bill of Rights and Responsibilities. And if you download the article, I've put the link in the comment box there. When you go into the article also has a link in it to the Patient's Bill of Rights and Responsibilities. And it says it's like the one displayed in medical offices in the US. If your country doesn't, look up the professional standard laid out by individual organizations and licensing boards. So make a copy of that Patient's Bill of Rights and Responsibilities as well. So during the appointment, here are a few tips to help your visit go smoothly. Number one, set expectations. At the start of your appointment, let your provider know about any questions or concerns you have. They should make them a priority. So if you have specific concerns, like we talked about, That's what you want to lead with when you see your doctors, to let them know this is priority. So you should not leave that appointment unless these things have been addressed. Ask clarifying questions. Sometimes the problem isn't gaslighting. Medical jargon, for example, is a major source of misunderstanding. So ask follow-up questions and recap the main points of the visit to ensure that you're on the same page. So if the doctor is using medical terminology that you're not familiar with, ask them to slow down and explain that to you in layman's terms so you can understand exactly what they're talking about. Take notes if you can. Take notes during your visit. That way you have a record of your conversation in your own words. Advocate for yourself. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about how to advocate for yourself. Helping you is your provider's job. That's what your provider is getting paid to do, is to help you. Dr. Childs emphasizes, if they don't discuss a treatment option with you, ask why. If you need a translator, request one. If they ask you to sign a consent form, read it first. That is huge. That is so huge. I mean, I put exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point after that. If they ask you to sign a consent form, read it first. And if you have any questions about anything that is on that consent form, do not sign it until you get an explanation for it. If you are uncomfortable, say so. So what do you do after your appointment? Well, that didn't go well. If you aren't satisfied with the care you received in a healthcare setting, there are a few different things you can do about it. Don't just say, oh, well, that just didn't go well, and leave, upset. There's something that you can do about it. So if you think your provider is gaslighting you, get a second opinion. Consulting with another provider will either reassure you that your doctor is on track or validate your concerns. Getting a second opinion is very common in healthcare, especially for a major diagnosis or a condition with lots of treatment options, Dr. Childs says. So don't worry about offending your provider. If you feel that you need a second opinion, you have the right to ask for one. Another option is contacting the ombudsman. An ombudsman is like a professional mediator who works at a hospital. If you're unsatisfied with the care you receive at a hospital, it's their job to help you. If you make a complaint, they'll address it with the doctor and try to resolve the situation. Dr. Childs explains. If there isn't an ombudsman at your medical facility, speak with the manager of the practice or a patient services representative. If you don't trust your provider to give you quality care or to treat you with respect, it's time to find a new one. It's time to exit, find a new provider. You are entrusting this person with your most valuable possession, is the vessel, the temple that you live in, the temple that you are now a steward over, right? So if you do not trust that person, it's not about, whether you're going to hurt their feelings. They'll get over it. If you do not trust that provider, time to find a new one. So that's the power that we have as patients. That is a power that you have that you often forget. Remember, you're the most important person in the room in any appointment. You have to remember that. It's not the doctor. The doctor is not the most important person in that room. You are. You are the most important person in that room. You came there for help. This person is in a service capacity. They are there to serve you. We as providers are there to serve our patients. Right? So, yes, do some patients come in with unrealistic expectations? Yes. And as a provider, it is our responsibility to now explain why, whatever the expectation is, if it is unrealistic, to explain to the patient the best way possible why it is unrealistic. But that patient should not leave an appointment feeling more confused than when they walked in. So sisters, any questions there? And I'm just going to do a quick recap. But once again, please download those articles so you'll have those, because this is very valuable information that even if you don't feel as though, oh, this doesn't apply to me, you know, I have a really good relationship with my doctor, that's great. But there may be someone else that, you know, that doesn't have that same type of relationship with their provider. And you never know, you may have to switch providers at some point for some reason. And it doesn't mean that the next provider that you have will be as great as the one that you have now, or they may be even better. But it's always good to be prepared and to know your rights. So I'm just going to recap some of the things that we talked about. So medical gaslighting occurs when your symptoms are dismissed or minimized. Your lived experiences is questioned. Emotional explanations replace proper investigation. You leave appointments feeling confused, ashamed, or silenced. So let me be clear. Your body does not lie. Your body doesn't lie. Symptoms are messages. They're not inconveniences. Right? So your body is your temple, and you have to be the guardian over this temple that you are entrusted with. As women, and especially Black women, we carry a long history of being unheard, being expected to endure, being told to push through that pain, where you're that strong, you're strong. Remember, you're strong. But we're not designed to suffer in silence. Our bodies are wise. We have a sense of intuition, and our healing deserves respect. So also, if you are experiencing any of these, you may be experiencing medical gaslighting. If you leave your appointment doubting yourself, if your symptoms are blamed on anxiety without proper investigation, if you feel rushed, dismissed, or emotionally shut down, or you just sense something is wrong, but you're told that you're fine. So you may be experiencing medical gaslighting. So that inner knowing, when you just feel in your gut that something isn't right, it's not fear, it's discernment. So you need to just prepare for your appointments, right? We talked about preparation before your appointment. Write down your symptoms, note the patterns, track changes, bring questions to your doctor. You don't wait until you are there to prepare. You want to prepare before the appointment, because preparation is power. Speak with calm authority. once again, you don't have to get angry. Just speak with calm authority, but you have to not this passive, oh, you're there to advocate for yourself. So you have to speak with authority. Try phrases like, I don't feel my concerns are being fully addressed. I would like further testing or a referral. And if you notice they're just sitting there and not your doctor isn't taking any notes, address that as well. Please note this in my chart. Please note this in my chart so that when you return, the next time your doctor is like, well, no, you didn't mention that. Well, yes, I did mention it. So if you notice your doctor is just sitting there and not taking notes, you need to address that as well. Confidence doesn't require aggression. It requires clarity. So also trust your inner witness. Your inner witness. So doctors are trained, medical providers, we're trained in medicine, right? But you are trained by your lived experiences. You know your experiences. And no one will ever know, no provider will ever know your body better than you do. You know your body. You have lived in this body for many of us, many of years. many years you've lived in this body. So you've gotten to know, you have this personal relationship with your body. So, and the experiences that you've had, right? So never let anyone downplay your experiences or what you know your body is telling you. So you are allowed to seek a second opinion. You're allowed to change providers. If your current provider is not fulfilling what they're supposed to fulfill, if you feel as though you're really not getting anywhere, you're not getting better, or you're not getting the advice or the treatment that you deserve, change providers. And this is a huge one. Choose holistic support alongside conventional care, because so many patients, so many of us, will go get conventional care, but we never seek out holistic support as well. And that's important because there are so many things that can be done and treated with herbs and holistic and alternative treatments that may prevent you from having to get on certain medications and deal with these side effects. So choose holistic support alongside your conventional care. And that is wisdom, not rebellion. And so many people that I've spoken to, they're afraid to talk to their provider, even if they are seeking out care with a naturopathic doctor or an integrative health practitioner or an herbalist. They're afraid to talk to their doctor about that. You shouldn't be afraid to talk to your doctor about that. Your doctor should actually welcome that approach. And don't forget to bring support when needed. So another set of ears can ground you, can validate you, can actually shift the energy in the room. And just having that support will give you even more confidence Community is medicine. So medical gaslighting can fracture trust, not just in the providers, but in yourself. So healing may include rebuilding self-trust, because sometimes people can actually make you feel like you are losing it. And it's not you. So now you have to develop that trust again, that trust in yourself, to know that you're making the right decisions, or what you feel is real. And it's not just quote unquote in your head. And you also need to listen, really listen more deeply to your body. Our bodies are always talking to us. It's always talking to us and letting us know when something isn't right, or when something is right. When you're doing something right, your body is lively, you feel good. But the minute that you start feeling the opposite, you need to start now, okay, well, what changed? What caused me to now not feel good? It's like if you eat something and all of a sudden you're having bloating and gas and, loose stools, then you're going to trace it back to, okay, what's changed in my diet? Right? So we have to constantly be the investigators of our bodies. Investigate our own symptoms, so that when you do see the doctor, you've already done your investigation, and now you're able to go in and say, this is what I've done, this is what I think happened. You can actually check off boxes of what you've tried and what didn't work. Sister Lillian says, Sister Adna says, my eye doc stopped returning my calls when I told him I was not interested in cataract surgery. Shaking my head. Well, so you said he stopped returning your calls. So were you calling him to set up an appointment for something else? Or you had questions about the surgery? Because if you told him that you no longer want the surgery, and that's the only thing that he was working with you with, then I don't know. You said yes. Yes to, I did ask a few questions there. But maybe it is time. I was calling for something else. Okay. So maybe it's time to find another doctor, another specialist. If he's not returning your calls. Yeah, it's time. It may be time to move on. And first of all, go get a second opinion. Go get a second opinion from someone else. Maybe that's what needs to happen. He was not happy. I think it is time. Yeah, definitely. I think it's time for you to go get a second opinion and see what someone else says, and also see if there's something else that can be done rather than the surgery. So yeah, I think it's time for that second opinion. So yes. So it's time to rebuild that trust in yourself, listening more deeply to your body, and incorporating herbal support. This is the stuff that we talk about here on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty, right? Is the herbs, the teas, the tonics. And we have such an amazing community. We have such an amazing community of healers, right? In our community, where we can get tinctures over here, skincare products over here, teas. We're so blessed. We really do have a rich healing community. So these are the things that we need to incorporate more into our lives: more herbal support, rest and nourishment, eating proper good foods, healthy foods, getting away from the junk and the fast foods and all of the crap out there that's causing us to be sick. We have to take this health very, very seriously. So here are some questions that you all may want to consider if you want to jot some of these questions down, because these are some reflection questions that I would like to ask you all. You don't have to answer them now, but these are some really good questions to ask yourself. This is perfect for journaling. And by answering these questions, it may really bring to the forefront, especially like Sister Adana, like you said, what's going on with your eye doctor. These are some good questions to ask. So now you are able to make a decision about, maybe you're in a position right now where you're kind of straddling the fence. Should I stay with this provider or should I leave? And I think these questions may help you, right? To make better decisions when it comes to advocating for yourself, for your health care. And I'm sure they'll help you in other areas of your life as well, not just with your medical provider. So number one, have I ever left a medical appointment feeling unheard or dismissed? Have I ever left a medical appointment feeling unheard or dismissed? Number two, what symptoms have I minimized because someone else did? So if someone else has minimized your symptoms when you mentioned it to them, whether it be your doctor or a loved one, and you have now started minimizing the symptoms because that other person minimized it. Have you ever done that? And what are these symptoms that you've minimized because somebody else did? Number three, where in my body do I feel tension when I think about advocating for myself? When you think about advocating for yourself, do you suddenly feel really tense? Just the thought of having to advocate for yourself, does it cause you that much distress to want to advocate for yourself? Number four, what would confident self-advocacy look like for me? What would that look like? If I were to advocate for myself confidently, what would that look like for me? We talked about some of the ways to ask the questions. Just be confident in it. We don't have to be rude. We don't have to be angry or aggressive. We just have to be confident when you see your provider and there are certain things that you think need to be done. Articulate that confidently. Number five, how can I better prepare mentally, emotionally, and spiritually before my appointments? How can I better prepare mentally, emotionally, and spiritually before appointments? Because going to see a medical provider can be really nerve-wracking sometimes. It can be really nerve-wracking. First of all, you have to drive to the place, you get there, and then you have to sit in the waiting room for only the Most High knows how long you're going to be in the waiting room. And you wait for an hour, and then you finally get in to see a provider, and they rush in and order tests in 5 minutes and send you on your way after waiting an hour in the waiting room. And the waiting room was so backed up. There are people in there coughing, there are people sneezing, whatever the case may be. It can be a nerve-wracking experience. So how do you prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually before going to your appointment? And here's another question. Who can support me in my healthcare journey? It's really important to have someone that, especially if you're dealing with any serious medical conditions, it's really important to have a support system. And lastly, what does it mean for me to truly trust my body? You have to trust your body. Your body, if it's doing certain things, it's telling you something. It's not going to lie. Your body isn't going to trick you. It's responding to something. So like I said, you have to now become the investigator. The first line investigator. And then you can now bring your provider on to do the deep investigation, the investigation that you are not capable of doing. So these questions will help you better prepare for future medical visits and equip you with the tools that you need to confidently address any future gaslighting attempt. These tips will help not only with medical gaslighting, but any other form of gaslighting that you encounter. Exactly, sis. Sister Adana, that is correct. You anticipate someone else touching on you. Yes. Yes. Because there's some horror stories about those situations as well. Yep. So sisters, know that your body is not betraying you. It is communicating. That's what it's doing. It's communicating with you. Your voice deserves space in every room, even the medical rooms. Remember that. You have to be able to use your voice, even in a medical room. Remember that. So if this message resonated, like this video, share it with a sister who needs reassurance, subscribe to the channel for more healing conversations on women's wellness. Yes. So I hope that this helped for you to be able to identify whether you are in a gaslighting relationship right now or not, whether you need to depart. Sister Anna says, yes, we'll share. Oh, all praises, sis. The water, this was awesome. All praises to the Most High. The water, sis. So sticking to the theme, let's talk about next week's show. The theme is informed self-advocacy, how women take control of their health. Next week's show will be the third in the series, and we're going to talk about caregiver burnout. Caregiver burnout. Who advocates for the woman who cares for everyone? There are so many women that are caregivers, whether it be, even if it's not you, if it's someone that you know that is a caregiver, which most of us are, whether it's to our children, elderly parents, sick family members, or others, this is a must watch. Next week's show is going to be a must watch for you. Even if it's not you at this time in your life, it's worth a watch because we don't know what the future holds. And it's better to be prepared and not need these skills than to need the skills and not be prepared. So at some point, we all end up caring for someone. I believe. Live long enough. And then sometimes the caregivers become the ones that have to receive the care, right? So if you know about caregiver burnout and you get to the place where you now need care, you can now be empathetic towards whoever your caregiver may be, right? So next week's show, caregiver burnout. Be here next week. Let's talk about that. So this channel is not monetized, but if you find the information that is presented on this channel to be useful and valuable to you, please feel free to give a donation to the cause. Nothing is too small or large. Shebrew Royalty LLC and Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty are labors of love and appreciation. What I present on this channel and create and offer on ShebrewRoyalty.com comes from a place of love, care, and appreciation for each and every one of you, for myself, and most importantly, for the Most High. We appreciate any gift that the Most High puts on your heart to donate. Donations may be sent to $Shebrew Royalty on Cash App. Please be sure to specify donation as the purpose for the transaction. Thank you, Thawada, in advance for your generosity. But the best way to support us is by visiting ShebrewRoyalty.com and purchasing one of our all-organic skincare products from either our Temple Treasures collection, made for the queens, or from our Hebrew Royalty collection, specifically crafted for the kings. And don't forget our royalties collections as well, such as our Queen's Defense, Elderberry Tea and Tonic. So if you haven't already experienced our products, please check us out on ShebrewRoyalty.com and also go to our review page so that you can hear what others are saying about the products. So real quickly, I am going to talk real quickly about, let's see, oh boy, time is moving fast, isn't it? The Virtual Women's Conference and Tea Party, Royal Tea Party, which you don't want to miss. This will be our third Shebrew Royalty Tea Party, but the first time that it is combined with a conference. So this is so exciting. Go back to ShebrewRoyalty.com, go to our conference webpage, and let's have an amazing time next year. It's June, but time is moving so fast that we really need to start planning. So the purpose is to inspire, uplift, and encourage women and girls with a special focus on those that are outside of our congregation. Attendees are women, mothers, girls, ages 5 and up. It's going to be a 3-day event consisting of Friday morning to the afternoon will be workshops on women's health and wellness, finances, business etiquette, and home economics, and also age-appropriate activities for young girls. Saturday afternoon and evening, sip, paint, and pizza party at Painting with a Twist. And this is for the women, daughters, and girls. Sunday morning to early afternoon, it's our tea time party and brunch. This is our signature event. with a keynote speaker and entertainment for women, daughters, and girls. This is an elegant, regal affair. And at the same time, while we're having our tea time, TEA time, there'll be a TEE time golf outing at the resort golf course for husbands and fathers and sons that may want to accompany their wives or mothers. So the date, June 5th through 7th, 2026. The location is Olympia Hills Golf Course and Event Center in Universal City, Texas. For those that will be traveling from out of town, we do have a hotel that we're working with to give group rates. I'll have more of this information by the middle of this month. And also we'll talk about tickets what dates tickets are going to go on sale for the event. Just keep checking back on the website. All right. This event is hosted by Shebrew Royalty LLC, and it's not affiliated with any other organization or church. It is open to all women and girls ages 5 and above that are interested in attending this regal royal affair. 5 to 17-year-olds must be accompanied by an adult. More information to follow, so stay tuned. And I am going to really quickly just give a little slideshow here, a quick slideshow. Give me just a second. Quick slideshow of our previous tea party. We had so much fun. We had a most creative head wrap contest. We had a teacup exchange, a most fabulous hat contest. With the teacups, we had a teacup exchange. So, and we're going to do that again this time. You bring a teacup and saucer set gift wrapped, and we exchange teacups. So when you leave, you won't leave with the same teacup that you brought. You will leave with, actually, it will be a souvenir from the event. So yes, it is going to be so amazing. It is going to be so amazing. This time we are really taking it to the next level, and it's going to be an elegant affair on Sunday. The tea party is going to be a purple and gold event. And more information to come, but we're really going to take this one. It's going to be royal and regal. Let me just put it that way. Oh, Sister Phyllis says I have to watch it over. Oh, I'm so sorry that you missed it, sis. But the beauty of YouTube is that you can watch it again. You can watch the rerun. The water for showing up, sis. So I know I'm getting ready for June. Please get ready. Please share this information with your friends, your co-workers. Invite them to this tea party, right? This is our way to also reach out to those that how do I put this? Yeah, it's not affiliated with any church. So we would like to invite women and girls from all walks of life to come and see how we do things. Let me just put it this way, how we do. They get to see the regal royal affair and how we do things, right? So the goal is to reach sisters, women throughout the four corners of the earth. And we are going to put the Bridgerton franchise out of business. There we go. So sisters, let's continue to grow this channel so that this information can reach Shebrews throughout the four corners of the earth, and even those that are not Shebrews but are willing to be a part of our community. We are to let our light shine so that others can be led to the source of the light. The water, thank you for your continued love and support. I know I went over a little bit tonight, but it was just so much information that I had to put out there, and I hope that you really enjoyed it. I love you and always appreciate you taking time out of your very, very, very busy schedules to have tea and conversation with me. The water. Thank you for your support, your love. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And just know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for us. So until the Most High brings us back together again, may you prosper and be in excellent health. And remember, true healing begins inwardly before it is expressed outwardly. I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, a voice of reasoning and justice. Thank you for joining me for another healing moment on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty. Until next time, walk in confidence, speak with wisdom, and always honor the royalty within you. And as always, this is Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty. Shalom and many blessings. Good night. Have a blessed and amazing week. And if it's the Most High will, I will see you next week. Same tea time, same tea channel. I love you all so much. Ahabatha. Shalawam. Shalawam, sisters. Shalawam.